I'm with Robert W. Hastings, the author of The Lakes of Pontchartrain, Their History and Environments, and I'm going to ask him some questions about the book. The lakes of Pontchartrain, people think of one big lake. What do we have here in the plural?
Well, there is one lake that's called Lake Pontchartrain, but it's part of a chain of lakes, beginning with Lake Maurepas, then Lake Pontchartrain, and then Lake Bourne, and a very small lake in between, Lake St. Catharines. The title is a play on the title of a folk song concerned with Lake Pontchartrain. It's called the Lakes of Pontchartrain, and I have actually copied the folk song in the book and then used the title of that song as the title of the book.
Okay. And you've been deeply involved in working with people to save the lakes. What were you saving it from, and who were those people?
Well, the water quality in the lakes had been degraded over the years, especially back in the 50s and 60s. And since that time, there has been a concerted effort to clean it up and restore it to a swimmable condition. That has been partially successful as a result of efforts from groups like the Lake Pontchartrain Basin Foundation, Sierra Club, the Gulf Restoration Network. These have all been, and other organizations also, have been working together to reduce the pollution levels going into the lakes, to help protect them, and to get them back to a condition that we could really treasure it as a natural resource.
What sort of environment was in the lakes when it really was at its worst? What was happening there? It was the city of New Orleans and people that were really polluting it, right?
Yeah, as the population of the area had increased, there was not a corresponding concern for properly treating waste. In fact, there were literally hundreds of camps on the shores as well as on boardwalks going out into the lake, and none of these had any kind of sewage treatment system. They were just releasing raw sewage into the lake and definitely degrading its water quality. That culminated in the worst of the conditions probably in the 60s and 70s. And about that time, people began to be concerned. Beaches were being closed. People were advised not to go into the lake. People that did go into the lake were getting sick. So that generated some concern and an effort to definitely improve the quality and reduce some of these sources of pollution. And that has been successful over the years.
Now, what's there now? I understand that through these efforts we have a really rich ecosystem.
Right. Well, it has always been a rich ecosystem. The lakes are big enough, and there's enough water quantity in the lakes that pollution is diluted. So the major areas of concern were in the coastal areas, the places where people wanted to swim, at the mouths of rivers and canals going into the lake where the pollution levels were highest. Out in the open lake, it has always been relatively clean and supported a diverse assortment of fish and crabs and shrimp. So it's definitely a rich resource, and as the pollution levels has decreased, that has definitely come back and become more significant. So as far as a place to swim and fish and boat, it's an outstanding body of water and should be appreciated for that.
Okay. And you began to write this book about this. How long ago did you start the Lakes of Pontchartrain?
Well, I was doing teacher workshops at the research station where I work, the Turtle Cove Environmental Research Station. And we were developing resource materials that we could give to teachers to use in their classroom. And this generated the idea that we needed a book that would compile a lot of the information that was available and put it in a convenient form for teachers and other people to use. So I began working on this back around the year 2000, and finally it's a completed effort this year.
Good. Now, if there was one thing that book could accomplish, what would that be?
To make people appreciate what a natural treasure we have and stimulate them to help protect it.
Great. Thank you very much.
Sure enough.